Hello everybody, welcome back to the Component Cast. This is Bellegarde, goodbye. We are playing my Urban Jungle campaign, which is currently running while we figure out some stuff with the Lancer campaign. If you want to play Urban Jungle yourself, if you've been enjoying the campaign, or if you've been enjoying maybe watching our old Urban Jungle campaign, Trakogan Knights, you can check out the book. It is by Sanguine Production. They've also done Ironclaw, which is the more fantasy version of this. This is a single book RPG. This is all you need to run your game. It is about 170 pages of pure goodness. You can get it print ordered. You get this in this really nice color hardback that I have here in front of me, which you can't see on camera, I'm realizing right now, because I don't realize what the camera's looking at. Even though I set the cameras up, which is how bad I am at this. Otherwise, if you want to check out other stuff there, they also have they have two different expansions. They have like a cathode ray science fiction 1920s 30s kind of cinema kind of style thing going on, maybe like a Meet the Jetsons kind of style expansion. And then the other expansion they have is a mythic horror, so if you're looking for something more Cthulhu based, that's also available. If you want to check out our shows on the other platforms, so if you can't watch us live here on Twitch, you can check out the individual podcast channels. You can find them by searching the show's title. However, you cannot find this show by searching its title. I would tell you to search Component Cast Specials, because that's where you can find all of our specials in one handy-dandy place. You can find our Dangerous Dragon show, the Eleanor Chronicles, our Urban Jungle show, Trakogan Knights, there's Whittaker show, the Great Schism. Our last show is just business, and our specials including Elite Dangerous Rivalzone special, the Grease Hobby Regular special, the House of Time Midgeman special, and the Path of Ghost special, and the Podbean Player FM, Podchaser Listen Notes, Spoonplay App Podcast, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, Podcast Addicts, Podcast Republics, and Good Pods apps. Shows released on YouTube and on the podcast channels at 12 noon GMT, Friday for Angler, Saturday for Lancer, and Sunday for any specials. Please remember to turn your downloader for your preferred app, and be sure to leave a review and share it with your friends who are equally as nerdy. If you would like to support the channel directly, you can feel free to use your Prime sub here on Twitch, or subscribe to us on Twitch, either one is fine. If you want to support us more directly, however, you can jump on over to our Patreon. There are links down below at the Doris link you can find in our panels, so you can find anything you want there. You can also find our merch store. So if you want to support us that way too, that's available. Merch is usually related to the show, for example. So if you want to buy some Lancer merch, that's on there. If you want to buy some Eleanor merch, that's on there. There is still some Night City Terrorism merch on there that hasn't sold out quite yet. So if you're looking for any of that, that's still available. So I would highly suggest checking those out as quickly as possible, because once the show is finished, the merch will be taken off the show. And I believe that's all of the stuff. Oh no, wait, sorry, one quick thing. The music you're listening to right now is provided by Epidemic Sounds. So, had to mention that there at the top of the show. So, we'll be back after this intro. Right back into the game. So as we last left off, all of you, except for Jake, were returning from a very, very nice trip to the local public beach that had just been opened up on the shores of Louisiana. You guys have had a great time there. Jake, you are heading back to your office, I believe, after a bit of investigation into the people who may or may not have had one of these firearms that were used to kill the man in question in the Amethyst Eye.
Yes, no one did.
No one did.
No one had the. No one had the gun. All the other. We tracked all the guns.
And they're all accounted for.
All accounted for, apparently.
And Ace had a very nice time at the beach with her mama and her friends. Which, you know, good for her. Good for her. She deserves a nice treat for every now and again. Otherwise, I believe it's about time for you guys to get ready for, well, your next day, basically. I don't think there's anything in particular you guys have running at the moment for your next day plans at the moment, right?
No, I don't think so. I think we've run through all of our bits and pieces, our separate plans and everything. So Jake's kind of at a dead end. We ran all the guns down and things. We've asked all the questions. We've given Officer Jenny as much information as we can, and she's given us some back, but it's all led to dead ends. I'm starting to wonder if Jenny's feeding me false information.
He did give you a bit of information last week.
Yeah. A little bit. She gives me tidbits. It's almost like the DM is trying not to give away too much and give us like too much pointers and show us where we're going.
Well, he knows we're really clever, so he knows we're going to
me?
figure it out.
Me?
I am just going to sit here and say the DM, who is a constant disappointment to me.
That's true.
The DM, who has known us for 4 years now.
Longer. I've known Midge for 6. I had his. I think it's 6 years and a month. So 73 months. I think is how long I've known Midge.
Okay. Well, you've known us for about 4, maybe 5 years.
About that, yeah.
Yeah. And you think that after all that time, Mikey is going to go, they're smart people, they'll get this. No, Mikey's going to put in plans because he's going to go, okay, I'm giving them the credit of being smart, but I've played D&D with them.
Exactly. This is why I can't drip feed you anything. Otherwise, you're annoyed at me for giving you too much information.
Unless I give like a neon sign, arrow pointing down to something saying, clue here, there's a chance they'll miss it.
I mean, we did do that in the D&D game multiple times, so yeah. We've done it before. We did it in Trakoga, I'm pretty sure, at least once. I'm trying my best, all right? I'm trying my best. I'm giving you guys information.
You're doing a great job.
Absolutely fantastic job. Loving the story. This is good.
I'm giving you guys the information that you can work with. You guys are just dumb as fuck, apparently.
Well, duh.
I mean, listen, we tried our best here, okay? Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention during the opening section. This will be a half session. There's a few people missing, as you can probably tell from the faces on the screen. So, don't worry about it, though. We'll be here for half a session, so we'll be here till about 9 o'clock GMT. Anyway, back to the point. There's also the fact that you're waiting for the goat to show up so he can go visit his girlfriend, the Lombardi, who you want to talk to about stuff and things.
Okay. So I think that, we should probably try and meet up, maybe.
You want to come to the diner because Lily Rose is definitely going to work next day. She only had 1 day off. That's her 1 day off for the year.
Right.
It's not that bad.
Gee, I'm hungry and could use some coffee. I think I'll go to a diner. You know what? I think I'll go to a diner where I know one of my compatriots is working. That will be a good idea.
Always is.
Look, if nothing else, Mikey, at least the party that's here is coming together instead of being split.
I mean, this is true, but I'm not here to argue about that. Right, so, next morning you wake up and you decide, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to an actual breakfast with actual coffee that I didn't just pour from, I don't know, a week-old coffee pot, probably at this point.
I would like to point out that Jake Bullet, cybernetics, is a coffee aficionado.
Right.
Because he lives off the stuff.
This is true. This is true. Man doesn't know the meaning of drink water to stay hydrated. He drinks caffeine and keeps caffeinated. That's about it.
I wish that Jake Bullet was not such a caricature of me.
Jake probably drinks more whiskey.
Probably. This is true. Is it by much? Possibly.
Possibly. I mean, I drink like 3 times a year.
When he feels like it, when he wants to, and yes.
No. My birthday, New Year and the most special day of the year. Super Bowl Sunday.
Ah, I thought I was going to say when the Jags come to town, and I'm like, no, that's wrong.
No, that's not special anymore.
No.
That used to be special. Now, not so much. I'm sorry, Jags, but you keep letting me down.
He knocked a day off of his drinking allowance for you guys. Jesus, you're letting a man down. Right. So you get to the... I'm going to say that for some reason, possibly Red Wolf related, Lucy does not show up today. She's not at the... not at your office in the morning. So you have to walk or take a tram to the...
I'm good with that. That's the way I normally travel, you know.
Yeah.
Having Lucy around for a couple of days has been nice, but...
It's also quite obnoxious on occasion. You know, it's quite loud. There's a lot of... It's very difficult to be any kind of incognito when there's a giant car driving you around.
Drifting around the corner.
Yeah. It's about family, Dom, as she drives around the corner. So, you get there. You know the stops to get on and off of. You know the trams to swap to. You arrive there. The diner's relatively busy this morning. But there's space for you. You can find yourself either a stool at the counter, or you can find yourself like a lone seat in a corner.
I'll find myself a booth in the corner.
Cool. There's a lone seat with a small table in the corner. That's usually for, you know, people coming in who need to pick up a quick coffee and then leave, but who don't want to stand up and drink their coffee because, you know, you deserve a sit down when you drink coffee, right?
Yeah, I'm not a cop.
Not a cop. Hasn't ordered donuts yet. So, you, Ace, you immediately spot him. You know exactly where he is. He walks in. You know Jake Bullet. You recognize him, obviously, from the time you spent with him. And also, he's the only wolf in here at the minute. Everybody else is kind of your regulars who maybe work underslung sort of shifts or early morning shifts that have got their lunch breaks now. This would be their lunch, essentially. You spot him straight away, and he is gone to sit down in the corner.
I head over. Well, good morning, Mr. Bullet.
Miss?
What can I get you?
Coffee.
Anything else?
Rare steak.
Would you like eggs with that?
Yeah, go on then.
I'll have a treat.
I'll be
Go
right
on.
with you.
Little treat. Go on. Not sure why not. Some eggs with my steak. In the
I'm
morning.
trying to watch my caloric intake.
Yep.
What does that mean?
That's what's that stuff called, Red? Not chlorine.
Calories?
No.
Cholesterol.
Thank you.
I don't know what that is either.
My God.
We're trying here, guys. We're trying.
We're trying our best. So you order your food, and Ace, you head off and place the order for him. Everybody else is currently enjoying their breakfast, having a coffee or a sandwich, or maybe even some of them are actually having breakfast. They're getting prepped for their own mornings. You don't recognize anybody else at the counter. There's usually like 2 or 3 people who are there, but they've already been and gone. Everybody else who's there is currently working on their breakfast. There is this almost calmness in the room that you didn't expect there to be so soon after the shooting and after everything going on. But there's this edge of just a level to the place that you recognize that it's quite nice when it's like this in here.
Okay, can I leverage my streetwise and take a look around, see if I can spot anyone who stands out? Anything that is kind of my sixth dog sense goes.
Woof. In your case,
What there might be, I'm investigating a murder, and I'm dealing with gangs and organized crime. There might be someone following me.
True.
Right, make me
And I probably should have done that much earlier.
Probably, but hey, we're all right. Make a mind observation roll, please.
Mind observation. When I find failure.
Don't forget your streetwise.
I did that.
Oh no, it's not a failure. It looks like the number, not a number error is the thing there. I can see I can see a 4, a 7, and 8, and so that's 3 successes you got.
You're good.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, the target number is not a number, so maybe you accidentally put something in there that shouldn't have been in there. I don't know.
Whoops.
It looks fine though. So 7, 4, 8. So you got 3 successes. You check the room first for any people who you might recognize or might have a vibe about who are criminal elements. Any person in here who can kind of give you any kind of like, gives you the not even the heebie-jeebies, but a little bit of like not sure about you. There is a lone bear sitting in the corner, like the opposite corner of the place to you. But it might just be that you two guys are equally brooding bitches who sit in corners and brood. So, you know, there's a kindred soul there.
Do I look like a vampire with a soul?
I mean,
do I look like Batman?
Yes. Let's be honest. If Batman was a furry, he'd be a wolf. So, yes.
Okay.
There's no arguments. No, you're correct, Mike. So, that's the only person who kind of gives you any kind of pause for thought, but he looks like he's just enjoying a breakfast. He's got a coffee and a newspaper. Otherwise, nobody followed you. You're aware of that. You keep an eye on that constantly, and you just sort of thought to yourself about, you know, how you came here and the extra swaps you made every now and again, or the extra few minutes you waited to make sure that there was no one following you when you got off of a tram. You're pretty confident that there's nobody who followed you.
Awesome.
Nice. And at this point, your food arrives.
Yay.
And your coffee.
You mind if I join you for a sec?
Yeah, sure. Pull up a seat.
So, I think something is going on with Old Brats, the shipping company.
Yeah, I know it.
Miss Lucy's, let's say, gentleman friend is the owner's son, Oliver Albright.
Right.
And he's the one who got Miss Lucy and himself invitation to the Amistad for that evening. Now, he said he got it off a work colleague, and that his daddy did a lot of business with people who frequent there. So, Miss Lucy is now asking, well, I don't know whether she asked or not, but I asked her to ask who that was who gave her the invites.
Okay.
Because why would you give up invites to a place like that unless you knew something was going to go happen?
Because there was a night out.
Apparently someone had changed plans.
Right. You did mention that before.
I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting, but it's hardly definitive right now. I mean, I reached a dead end.
Well, I think I've told you that Viola's gentleman friend works for the Lombardis. I heard that at my speakeasy.
Yeah, and if I can track her down, then fine, but right now, we're at a dead end as far as the firearm's concerned.
I'm wondering if it was 101.
Bulk order, split up amongst several places, without visually identifying each and every gun. I'll never be able to tell that, but still. The 100 are fine. You don't order 101 of something like that. Unless you want to make a statement and say, hey, we ordered 101 of this particular weapon, and now one of them's been used, and oh, we are in trouble.
Came from somewhere, Mr. Bullet. I don't know where, though.
I'm aware of that. I just can't track it yet. Anyway, I'll go and see if I can track down this Viola.
Well, we know where she lives. We've been to visit.
I don't remember that part of the particular session. Okay, cool. Where's her other half?
Well, according to the gentleman I was listening into, he goes visit her of an evening.
Muted.
Hang on, Mikey.
I'll dance to the jazz for everyone's entertainment.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, thank God. Discord decided, yeah, I'm going to disconnect your audio entirely.
Oh, nice.
I heard he's having a problem, and then your mouth went.
Yeah, I started dancing because everyone at home needed entertainment while you were occupied.
Yeah, Red, we have to sort that out next week.
Yeah, no. It could be added to the list of holiday duties.
List of things to be done.
We've got a long weekend coming up, and that list is ridiculously long. Isn't it, Red?
It's getting that way.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so this evening I'm going to have to go down there and have a chat. But otherwise, there's nothing much we can do.
Has your friend at the police station given you anything more?
She's given me some bits and pieces, but I don't know. Either the police are as clueless as we are, or someone's making them spin their wheels. This is a lot tougher case than I normally take on. Anyway, I'm going to eat my food.
Enjoy your breakfast. Do you want me to come back with the pot?
Yeah, good idea. Then I do the impressions of the two wolves with the little baby and how it's going to tear its arm off, and then just sits there and lick it.
Cool.
Okay, everybody, this thing here is now a wolf.
All right, so you have your breakfast after having a monologue. You have a lot of coffee because, of course, you do. It's very good coffee for the era. And as you finish up, you see someone come in. This individual is a alligator.
Oh, I was going for meerkat.
Meh. My mom sent me some pictures.
Just perched on the stool next to me.
Yeah, my mother sent me some pictures of the meerkats at Nashville Zoo. They're so cute.
I know.
They're so adorable.
It's wrong.
They're so adorable. Little small, little adorable things. But yeah, they walk in. It's a lady alligator who sits at the counter, kind of near where you are, but you're obviously sitting at a little table. She's sitting at the near the end of the counter, kind of in front of you. She orders a coffee and is sitting there with a paper. And you immediately know who she is. Her name is Anita Summers, spelled like the season. She's a reporter for the Bellegarde Gazette. She's a well-known, highly influenced, has a lot of very good contacts inside of a lot of very different areas. She was the first person on site when there was a union row happening. She was the first person to report the possibility of a Muldoon civil war. She was the first person to report on the fact that there had been a shooting at the Amethyst Eye. She works hard. She's got her little press hat on with the little, note stuck into the band that says press on it. She's carrying a little notebook that you see her flick open, and she's like taking some notes on some parts of the paper that she's reading.
Can I get a look at the notebook?
I mean, you can try.
Like over a shoulder or from an angle or something, just see what she's writing. I mean, it might have nothing to do with us at all. It might have everything to do with us.
Fair enough. Make me a speed observation roll, because you don't want to get caught while doing this. You want to be quick about it.
Okay, can I use stealth?
Indeedly doodly, neighbor, Can't hear you again.
He's talking to himself. He doesn't want to touch keyboard because we're on push to talk.
Fair. No worries. I was like, is he talking to me, or is he talking to Red, or is he talking to the Void?
The Void.
Fair. So you got 3 successes there.
That says 5 successes.
Because your target number is 0.
I succeeded.
Well, you shift yourself slightly as you're sipping your coffee, and allows you to kind of lean over and get a much better view at her notebook. Her notebook is currently taking note of anything in the paper that has a mention of the Muldoons and their current activities around town. There's also some notes that state that there might be a there's been some rumors floating around of this external cleaner, but there's also been some rumors of a possible hit put out on some reporters in town that this cleaner might be acting on relatively soon. Because of how well you rolled and how poorly she rolled, you get to choose which information you'd like first. Just pick.
I'm going to suggest probably going for the cleaner, Red.
I would say so, and see if there's any notes about a certain jackal.
Yeah, let's go for anything we can find on the cleaner.
Right. So the cleaner that's in there is... Let's see here. The cleaner that she has written in her notes is a man who goes by the name of Lessoile. He's a noted short-haired Persian. Has had some history with the Parisians. Has been known to work with them on occasion. Has also been known to be very freelance, and has had some choice encounters, shall we say, with various people in Bellegarde's upper echelon of criminal, after maybe some jobs that they took that was counterintuitive to their objectives. However, they are a free agent. They do the jobs that they want to do. They are sort of known to... They're known to be very professional, but the thing that she has written on her notes notes the fact that there's a calling card that's been left with all the killings that have happened recently in town. And that is not Leo's thing. Leo is a professional, doesn't leave anything behind to say that it's him. And the only thing that he takes is what he needs to prove that he did the deed. Usually it's a piece of identification or something in the house that's fairly innocuous. But that's not... She doesn't believe that this is the guy who is doing the killing.
Does she work at the same paper as Benoît?
No, Benoit's a pure freelance agent.
That's interesting. But doesn't really help us.
I mean, if you want to know more, you
man.
can ask, because you rolled
Yeah,
well
I'm
enough that she didn't catch you at all. So she rolled a 1 on her 1 dice roll.
Excellent.
Oh, she fumbled!
She did fumble.
Did she also fall off her chair?
No, but she is making it a little bit easier for him to read everything.
Okay, so I mean, the bits for the Muldoons could be feeding into it. So we will now kind of try and see what we can get off the pad with the Muldoon type connection.
The Muldoon stuff is namely in reference to... There's been a noted Muldoon presence at some of the unionized meetings across the city, that she wants to double check and make sure that these people aren't just there as, they're there for the good reasons. They're not there because they've been ordered to be there as heavies to attempt to put down this unionization. From what she has gotten from a lot of people, however, that's not the case. They are there purely because they want to keep an eye on things and make sure that their assets don't get seized.
So the Muldoons are there just to protect their own investments, basically.
Yes.
On behalf of Rival, does it say what those investments are?
Let's find out, shall we?
On behalf of Rival, thank you, Red Moogle.
It does. There is a list of noted Muldoon assets in the area. Notably, there is a distillery that's rumored to be hanging underneath the framework of the city in that area. There's some distribution that's been noted for their whiskey and, for their hooch areas kind of around that area too. There's a noted brothel, while not illegal, frowned upon in the city, has Muldoon protection and pays Muldoon dues. So there's a couple places around there that have Muldoon interests, and they want to keep an eye on them.
Interesting. All right. Red, thoughts?
Let's find out, see if what we can figure out about the hits on the journalists, and then maybe they can ask or Ace can ask questions. Theo Lie, which is a great name for a cleaner.
Really is. If you know the power of lie, and I'm not talking about, I love jumping out of airplanes with a piece of silk strapped to my back. That is actually a lie. No, it's liars in the stuff that you use to whitewash your houses with. Mm-hmm. You get it from burning down mussel shells.
Indeed.
The ashes turns into lye. It's great for whitewashing your house. Also turns you blind if you get it in your eyes. Don't do it.
Also dissolves bodies. Anyway, carry on.
I told you that in confidence.
We don't bring up the special evenings.
So, Leo, don't think he's the cleaner then, huh?
You're saying this through her?
To her.
She immediately spins around and looks at you, and then after a moment of measuring you goes, Jake Bullet, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Well,
You really should protect your notes more when you're sitting at a table like that.
I usually do a better job of it. Seems like I can't keep anything out of your vision, though, can I?
You give me too much credit. You were distracted.
Well, lots of thinking to be done, and no, I don't think he's around. I've heard some rumors that he's actually out in Boston right now.
Well, a king like him tends to keep a low profile, make it hard for him to be seen.
Mm-hmm. That he does. He had a few jobs here 2 or 3 months back, and obviously when he does work here, he tends to stick around for a little bit and then leave. So, I think he's up in Boston right now enjoying the balmy weather, I suppose.
In Boston, yeah. Okay, so if not him, someone with a grudge.
Possibly. No, not impossible, for sure. It could also be someone who just got hired to do a lot of killing that we don't know about yet. Sorry, can I get another coffee, ma'am?
Sure.
Thank you. A long night, you know how it is.
Try the light roast, it's better for you.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Have the light roast. It's still better for you. You'll get more caffeine out of it.
Oh, well, in that case, you should have said that first.
See, when they roast the beans, if they roast them longer, then they go dark roast, which gives you better flavor, but at the same time burns off all the caffeine in the beans, and so it tastes better, but you get less caffeine.
An aficionado, are we?
You drink as much coffee as I do, you'll learn a few things.
That's fair. That's fair. But yes, I have a feeling that our cleaner serial killer guy who showed up here, he's either new on the block or he's been around for a lot longer than even Leo Lai has been around.
I don't know, I get the feeling this is either a power play or someone with an axe to grind. You don't leave calling cards.
Could be a distraction.
But then you'd need to know the general area, and you need to know the history and culture of the place.
This is true. This is true.
I don't know whether you know this. Say professional courtesy from two people looking into the same matter. The weapon was found in one of the support beams for the decking, about 400 yards.
That was some good movement from him if he can get that out there and get hidden. That's a fairly busy road even at late nights when it's raining.
Yeah, here's the really fun thing. The pistol was a special.
Okay.
And it never had a serial number printed on it. It was filed off. It never had one.
That is interesting.
Now, if a well-meaning professional journalist, someone like yourself, could use that information to maybe shake some things loose, a hard-working PI like myself might be able to use the information in return.
Oh, Mr. Bulleti, are you coming on to me?
Well, I wouldn't want to say that.
You know what? I might just do just that.
Well, if you do, there's my card.
And here's mine. And she hands you one as well.
I'll see what else I can dig up. And I turn around, give her a slight bow, tilt the cap sort of thing, or hat.
Yeah.
Ma'am. And then look over to my my pal behind the counter. See you later, Lucky.
I don't think I've ever been lucky. Thank you. Good night, Mr. Bullet.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bullet. Good time of day, Mr. Bullet.
A particular any time, it's like good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Yep. Good time zones, people. Good time zones.
I am using that from now on. Good time zones.
Indeed, it's a good one. It's a good one. Right. So, Jake, where are you headed off to? You headed back to the office? You heading out to go find something?
I think I'm going to press the wrong button. I think I'm going to go back to the office. I've got Viola's name. I figure I can get as much background information on her as I can. So when I go there, at least I've got something. And also if I can try and figure out, you know, from background checks, things like that, knowing of associates stuff, I might be able to maybe narrow down who the boyfriend is. You never gave me that.
We heard it a couple of sessions ago.
She's now looking at the notes.
Notes time.
David Laporte.
David Laporte.
David Laporte.
Yes.
Okay, I can start searching on that then. Known associates. Bits and pieces.
Sounds good.
I think it's the best I can do. I get that, you know, having a full team would probably be better.
Yes. Well.
And I'd like to go there with maybe, like, Lucy.
Well, here's the good news. For you, at least. Since it's early, you know full well David won't be going anywhere at this time of day, given he's also in hiding. So, you can make me a mind observation with Streetwise.
I am so glad I grabbed Streetwise.
It's a very good gift to have when you're dealing with the criminal element, which we usually will be dealing with when it's a murder mystery.
Tied with 2 dice.
No successes.
No successes.
You take your time to try and figure out some stuff about Viola first, because you've heard a few things about her from Lucy and from Ace. A lot of them check out more or less what you would expect to hear about from her, given she's heavy, she's been in hiding for a little while. The only thing that you can't really figure out is how she met David. You're not sure why she's dating a Lombardi. But nobody else can really come up with any kind of information that will help you in your search. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of people know of her, but they're like, we don't know much about her, and she's been missing for like 2-3 weeks at this point. I'd like you to make the same roll again about David. Hey, there you go. Much better.
3 successes.
Nice. Nice.
Mikey needs coffee.
I do need a coffee.
Mikey needs a lot of coffee.
I need sleep. I need something. Until then, however, hydrate, homie. Anyway. So, you make a few quick phone calls to people who you know have some connections, either peripherally or directly with the Lombardis. The second you mention David's name, people start talking shit about him. Like, I mean, it is immediate. Like, no one seems to understand why this guy's in the gang. No one seems to get why he's around. People think he's a nepotism hire. There's a few people who say, oh, that kid nearly got me caught once with this thing, or that kid almost caused us more trouble than he's worth. From there, you learn very quickly that this kid is, like, he's very front heavy. You know what I mean? He puts his head, he doesn't put his head in front of himself. He tends to lead with action. And this has caused him some problems in his time with the Lombardis. However, he has earned the respect of a lot of his superiors in the organization because of his willingness to put himself on the line for his friends and for his fellow compatriots in the family. Dom.
Right.
Yeah.
So, he's a great meat shield.
Yes. He's also one of the fastest guys any of them ever met. He does a lot of, he's a very good runner. Like, they're like, yeah, we don't tend to let him stick around for very long, because if he sticks around, everything breaks down into fights. but he's great at bringing messages. He knows all the secret passageways. He's fast. He's quick on his feet. He's got a lot of. Somebody mentions that they once saw him dive into the underslung, and then back out again, like 2 or 3 streets down, because he knew there was some construction happening, and there was a support beam that he walked along the whole way. They talk about him like he's some sort of acrobat, basically.
So what we're saying is, he's fast, nimble, and knows his way around.
Yes, that's right.
Extremely well.
Extremely well, yeah.
Can get himself around the city without being spotted because of these skills he has.
Yes.
Could get himself from the Amethyst Eye to 400 yards down the street, put something away without anyone noticing it was put there, and then disappear into the night and no one would even know.
Very possibly, for sure.
And obviously can make sure that no one can find him when he's wanted by more than a few people.
It's possible, for sure. These all make logical conclusions in my head.
Yeah. Okay, so no one really likes him except the higher-ups in the Lombardis. And somehow him and this girl have got into a relationship.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying relationship because we don't know if it's romantic or business or
Booty
what.
calls. Lots of booty calls. Lots of late night, hey, will you come over? All right, sure. Situation going on here, maybe.
Okay, I just know from experience that sometimes those booty calls everyone calls is simply your ex-girlfriend wanting her computer fixed. Now,
I can confirm this.
Does happen,
now
yeah.
the
Does
fact that computer never got fixed and they turned into booty calls has nothing to do
with anything. Yeah. Listen, the fact that the computer didn't get fixed, but I got my fix, has nothing to do with it.
She got her fix.
She did indeed.
Hey, I didn't go over until she called.
Yeah.
Red's having a problem here because this is her ex-roommate.
This is how we met.
That's really funny. That's really funny. The Red and Rival lore coming out on the Tuesday Crew podcast.
Okay, the Tuesday Crew. Okay, Red and Rival lore. Here you go.
Back to the story.
I was meant to be a fling, and she was a rebound.
Well,
20 years later.
20 years later, they
together.
live in the same house.
Still together.
Yep. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you expect them, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And sometimes they work out better.
Yeah, true. So,
Yeah, I love you too, sweetie.
would be a fight.
Although I'm
That's
going to
it.
pay for giving that piece of information out later.
Look,
Would be a
I'm going to
fight.
write dice games on a piece of paper soon.
Would be a fight in this Discord call, and I'm going to be like, all right, guys, we're done. See it. I got to fly over to fucking England real quick to, like, break up a fight. Anyway. So, you get all this information from various contacts you have across the city, some people who know a few people, and you've got a general profile for David at this point. It's been a couple hours. It's taken you a decent amount of time to kind of get everything together. Given all the phone calls had to be made, some people weren't available. You had to call them back later, and of course, you also did a little bit of research about Viola. Didn't go as well, but it did take you significant time. At this point, Ace has finished her shift at the diner. Ace, what are you doing?
Did anyone else interesting come into the diner?
We'll find out, shall we? Sometime after Anita leaves, she leaves a nice tip. She's very, she seems very, jovial, shall we put it that way, after her little conversation with your friend. An individual comes in wearing a very lavish suit. You recognize the cut immediately as someone who you recognize who would probably frequent places like the Amethyst Eye. It is a fox. He is maybe barely out of high school, maybe in college. First year college, maybe at the oldest. He pulls out a large donation of bill for the time, puts it on the counter and goes, "Can I have a full breakfast and a coffee, please, ma'am?"
Of course you can. Let me see if I can make change for that.
You can. The diner's relatively busy. You're not great with money, but the diner's pretty good. Red is great with money. Her character is bad with money.
She keeps losing it.
Keeps dropping it on this blackjack table for some reason.
She serves him breakfast and coffee.
Right. After some time, you see he pulls out a paper and starts reading it while he's having his coffee after he's finished his plate of breakfast. You notice that he's wearing a pin underneath, like a lapel. So like there's a folded breast on his like suit jacket, and underneath it there's a pin that you can kind of see as he like shifts. It's a pin that you recognize as a signal of Lombardi leadership. You're not quite sure why he's wearing it, but he's wearing it.
Because he's just a little cub.
Yeah, he's barely older. He's like maybe 20, 19, 20 maybe. Something like that.
Can I tell if he's carrying?
That's a great question. You know what? Given he's young and inexperienced, I'm gonna say yes. While you're like walking past to like pick up the empty plate and move it out of the way, you see the pin and you also see he's got an underarm holster with a pistol in it. Which isn't uncommon in this era, to be fair.
No, but again, he's a little cub.
He's a wee
That's
cub.
what she's worried about.
He's a wee lad.
How was that breakfast, son?
It was fantastic, thank you.
Anything else I can get for you? Top above your coffee?
Yeah, I'll take a coffee top up, and if I could get a... And he looks at the menu and goes, could I get one of your... I'll just take 2 scoops of ice cream.
Sure thing, son. What flavors would you like?
2 strawberry, please.
Coming right up.
And he sits there, is reading the newspaper. It's either the paper that's been left here and sort of passed around every table, or it's a paper he brought in, but it looks quite crumpled and a little bit worn, but it's today's paper, for sure.
That's a real nice suit you got.
Oh, thank you. It was a gift.
New job?
No, actually, my daddy bought it for me when I got into college.
Oh, that's lovely. What are you studying?
What would he be studying? I'm studying... I'm studying to be an engineer.
Oh, well, the city always needs new engineers with all the... Well, with everything, really.
All the rebuilding.
Good luck with that, son.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ma'am. And he takes a scoop of the ice cream and bites into it and goes, I don't know what Daddy always says about the gelato in Italy, but this is really good. And he bites into it again.
Your daddy's Italian?
Yeah, he's from Sicily.
I hear it's beautiful over there.
Never been. He wants to take me there someday.
Oh, well, you gotta get a boat or one of the airships. I don't fancy those.
We'll see.
And then you'd have to go up to the Gothic to actually get on a boat or on a ship.
Yeah. Daddy's been sort of contemplating the idea because it's a long trip to the Gothic and then it's an even longer trip back to Sicily. But he wants to get it done before he turns 50, you know?
Well, sometimes it's nice to see home. I'm from up Kansas way and I haven't been back for 10 or so years.
Well, I liked Kansas, the little time I spent there when I was younger.
It's a beautiful state. Seems to be getting a little dry though.
For sure. At that point, he's finished his ice cream at this point and has put it down on the table again. Right, ma'am. Thank you so much for the food. My name's Dan, by the way, or Danielle, but I prefer Dan.
Nice to meet you, Dan. I'm Ace. Everyone calls me Ace.
Nice to meet you, Ace.
Have a lovely day.
You too. At this point, he leaves. You notice as he leaves, like as you're looking out the window, two people like converge behind him and start walking in step, like half a foot or so behind him on each side.
Would I know if Lombardi is an Italian name?
You would, yes. He didn't mention his last name either.
No. And would I know about Sicily?
Probably not, given you grew up in Kansas.
I did grow up in Kansas. I am full Dorothy. However,
Money.
I have,
Yeah, you're from a house that had money, I suppose.
and also I've been in speakeasies for however long prohibition's going on.
That's true. About 3 years, I think, at this point. I'll just double check that. Prohibition start. Oh, 1920 actually, so 8 years. It's already been going on for 8 years.
Yeah, she would have been in speakeasies for a lot of that.
Yes. January 17th, 1920. Jesus Christ. Didn't end until 33.
That seems like too long without booze.
It's 13 years of growing up with no alcohol. No wonder Americans are crazy. Yes. So, he's left. You know a little bit about Sicily. I'm going to just, you just make me a mind academics roll, just to see if you have any kind of thing about it.
Can I add streetwise?
I mean, you're not asking about the criminal element, right? You're asking about Sicily specifically.
I'm kind of asking about the mafia coming from Sicily. Do I know that?
Go on. Yeah, go on. I'll let you have it.
Who's success?
Right. So, Ace has heard of the Sicilian mafia and their expansion to America and all of the things that they have gotten their sticky fingers into. You know, the booze and the women and the drugs. You know, the standard sort of stuff, guns, that sort of thing. The standard mafia sort of plethora of vices, shall we say?
Gambling.
Gambling, for sure. Yes, lots of gambling. So yeah, you're aware.
Danielle Lombardi. I'll I'll have to remember to tell Mr. Bullet. Okay, so once her shift is finished, she's gonna go home, have her dinner, sort out her mum, and then head to her second job.
Mm-hmm.
And work, and then pick up what she can while she's there too. Hi, Utari.
Hello, buddy.
Hello.
Right, so, you... There you go, just need to adjust your camera a little bit. Alright, there we go, good. Right, so... You go head out to your second job. Doc, you've spent the vast majority of your morning basically listening to the contractors who you hired at the end of yesterday coming in and fixing your floor, and there is then a quite muddy looking underslung worker who comes in. He doesn't enter the building because he is quite literally caked in from head to toe in mud, but he does produce 2 still sealed aspirin bottles that he says that he found in the mud. Your receptionist takes the bottles away from him and gives him a reward, because, you know, expensive bottles of medication deserve to not go to waste, and he's obviously put his body on the line going down there to find these for you. He's very grateful. Leaves you. So your practice is actually closed for the majority of the day because of the fact that there is a lot of stuff having to be taken out of the floorboards. The second they start tearing these floorboards out, they're like, oh, there's like 6 different boards here that need to be replaced. And then, of course, it turns into a thing of, oh, your support beams are actually getting a little rotted. We're going to need to replace a section of those. It'll all be done by the end of the day, though. Don't worry. We're going to stick at it all day until we get it done. It's a lot of work, but
Oh, no. Not by the end of the day. Sorry, no. That would never be able to happen. Support.
they'll be all right. They'll get it done. Listen, it may or may not be legal, but they'll get it done.
The magic of roleplay.
The magic of roleplay, and also 16-hour shifts, I think, at the time.
Yeah, even then, no.
There's a lot of stuff they can get done. Also, let's be fair, they don't have to worry about tools. They have their mouths. They have these things called beaver teeth and stuff like that. So, it's convenient. Excuse me. So yes, you have.
Yeah, no, I'm just joshing with you. Just the fact that, like, actually being a construction worker, I know that
would take a lot longer than I'm saying. Yes.
Major operation. We're talking months.
Yeah. They're used to it though. This is all the work they do all the time here. You know. This is like a second Tuesday for them. They're like, we gotta replace some support beams and put down some new boarding and put in some new struts. That'll be done before the end of the week. No worries about it. Just how it is. You know? Excuse me. So, you have your whole day off, basically. Is there anything you plan on doing?
You know, that's actually a really good question. I haven't got a clue. I've kind of, like, been in a very passive role. I don't know. Like, I don't have the network of contacts that everyone else has, so I can't really, like, check in on people. I'm already waiting on a message back from the one contact I do have, I guess. I mean, is there anything that the doc might have overheard passively from some of the patients that, you know, might be affiliated with that way of life?
People are naturally quiet about that kind of thing. People who come in and they're like, oh, I hurt myself falling, and you're like, no, that's a stab wound, or, oh, I was, you know, doing something and I had a slip and a fall. No, you got punched in the face by a set of brass knuckles, I can tell. You know, they don't tell you.
I accidentally ran into this bullet.
Yeah. They rarely tell you the full story, and
Oh, why? It's like, tell your doctor everything. There's this medical confidentiality. Then
yeah.
Go to the police.
Yeah, but also, you know, they don't trust you quite yet because you're the new doc in town. You know what I mean?
I guess. Like,
You know, you're the new man in town. They're like, well, he's a good doctor, but I'm not sure on that man yet. You know, he's good for a prescription, but you know, maybe he'd cave if you came in there and you were a bit bloody from a fight in the big money. You know how it is. So no, there's not much in the way of verbal gossip you get, but you do have something everybody else here does not, and that is upper class connections and the ability to be places where people cannot right now.
It's like I'm trying to think how I could like utilize that to get information on a mob murder. Like the mob bosses, maybe they'll attend there. I highly doubt it unless everyone's playing a Capone, because like he stood out from the pack of mob bosses by living like that.
True.
In that time, mob bosses generally kept to themselves, knowing that they didn't want to draw attention. Like, he really rocked the boat among the different families by living so extravagantly and in the public eye. So I don't know. Maybe they are all Capones.
Maybe they are all Capones. Or maybe it's because there's only one good place in town to drink that actually has real alcohol.
Yeah.
There's also that. But I'll give you some time to think, because Jake has a few things he needs to get done before we hit the end of the session. So, Jake, you're checking out David, and you've learned that his usual routine is every third day he goes to visit Viola, and today happens to be the third day. So,
Lucky.
Yes, indeed. As the night begins to roll and the street lighters are coming around lighting up all the torches on the street, you immediately, well, you know where the entrance to Viola's like townhouse / hideout is, so you're just waiting within eyeshot of that in like a dark alley, you know, in the shadows, as you do, Batman.
I'll be on the rooftop then.
Batman. Extra gruff with his cup of coffee in one hand. He drinks his
justice in the other.
Yeah, drinks his coffee with extra grit, so he does. So, as time goes past, you spot this relatively, probably around the same age as yourself, goat man appear at the back door. You saw him come down the street, and he does move really quickly. He is quite fast. Comes up to the back door, pulls out a key, and goes to open the door.
Step out of the shadows
Yes.
in a non-Batman-like voice. David, name's Jake Bullet. We should talk.
He like jumps out of his skin and drops the key. And he goes, oh, fuck. And then bends down to pick up the key, puts it back in his pocket. Oh, I'm sorry, you caught me off guard, Mr. Bullet. Oh. What do you need to... Where should we talk?
Maybe inside would probably be best. Given the fact a lot of people want to talk to you.
Oh, okay. And he pulls out the key again and opens the door and holds it open for you so you can go in.
After you. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk.
Make a will negotiation. Roll a 5.
Okay. Is that good or bad?
That's good. So, he nods and enters the building, waiting for you to come in behind him.
Would you do me the honor of letting the lady of the house know that I'm here and not a threat? That would be helpful.
Probably for the best. And he like goes over to a pipe that you can see goes up from the floor and then into the wall and probably up again into the next building. And he goes over to it and knocks on it 3 times and then waits. And then there's a return knock on the pipe. After which he goes, she's aware that we're here and talking.
All right. Now, my research has put that you are not well liked among the rank and file of the Lombardis.
Yeah.
However, you seem to be extremely well liked among the officers, shall we say.
Yeah.
But what I can't understand is why so many people seem to want you to stop breathing.
You caught me. I don't know.
Come on, David. Hey, doggy.
He dare. Eagle boy.
He literally just walked in the side and...
Yeah. Done. That's him. Finished. He's sleeping now. Right. So he goes... He thinks for a moment and goes... Okay. It might come as a shock to you, but it's kind of frowned upon to sleep with a member of another gang. You know, it's not exactly a thing that you should do, which I am.
Speaking of which, how the hell did you get with her?
Apparently, I'm funny.
And?
Endowments, I suppose. I don't know.
Should we go ask her?
If you want to. I don't know if she'll tell you any different than me. But anyway, yeah, they don't like me because of that. They also don't like me because the leadership likes me because I'm a hothead and I can move quickly. You know?
You can get from one place to another without being spotted.
Yeah.
You know any routes like that around the Amethyst Eye?
Oh, plenty. Yeah.
So I could get from, say, the Amethyst Eye to about 400 yards down the road to one of the support columns, which was hollow.
Which street is that?
I gave him the street name.
Oh, did they patch that up last week or the week before? There used to be a hole that had a connecting support beam from just below the Amethyst Eye on the canal side that led straight there. But I think it got patched up like a week or 2 ago. Haven't checked. Haven't needed to be over there.
Okay, and where were you when the shooting happened at the Amethyst Eye?
Points upstairs.
Excellent. I'm guessing she'll say, yeah. I'll still need to ask her, though.
Just don't ask her to say it the same way she said it that night.
Right.
See? Funny.
Uh-huh.
See?
Thank
you laughed
God
again.
Thank God I'm wearing my tighter clothes, otherwise my sides would have split.
Okay, fair enough, Mr. Bullet. Fair enough. But yeah, that's all I...
Have you ever told anyone else of your roots around the city?
Not all of them are hidden. Some of them are kind of common knowledge to some people in the Lombardis. Other ones I keep to myself because I want to have them in case shit does go sideways. But no, I keep what I can keep to myself.
Right, you've never taken anyone by one of those routes or anything like that?
Points upstairs again.
Okay. And have you... I've got a list of the potential victims, haven't I?
Well, the victim is the victim.
Yeah, but the other possible victims.
Yes.
All right, I just go, do you know any of these names?
He takes a look at the list. That one sounds familiar, and he points at a name. Stefan Marchesi. Spelled STEFENMARCHESI.
How do you know him?
He's Italian. There's a lot of them in the Lombardy areas of town, and for some reason that name particularly rings a bell. Might be son of Leo Marchesi, maybe, I think. Or maybe brother? One of the two, I'm not quite sure exactly, but I think Leo's a prominent legger for us.
Alright. Can you do me the favor of bringing your lady downstairs?
I don't know what she's wearing.
Could you ask her if she could throw something on? I have just a couple of questions for her. And then I will leave the pair of you to your night's activities.
I think you've ruined the mood, my friend. But anyway. And
Possibly.
he will go upstairs to her, and then you hear a hushed yeah, I know. And, you know, at some point then you hear the sound of, you know, bare feet pads walking on wood. At which point, you see Viola lean across, like holding what looks like a robe quite tightly across her chest, and goes, "Mr. Bullet?"
Ma'am, a couple of questions and I'll be out of your business.
Okay.
Night of the Amethyst Eye shooting. Can you confirm he was here?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know anyone on this list?
Yeah. There's two people on the list I know of. Lucas Mora and... Is that... Sorry, could you just hold it up a bit higher? Thanks. Yeah, the other name that I know that I recognize on there is Jacob Walters.
Okay, and who are they?
They're both... Well, they're both Muldoon people. I don't know what they specifically do, but I do know that they work for the Muldoons.
Could they be bootleggers?
I don't think so. I think I know most of the bootleggers in town. Walters, I think, might have been a... I think they were a bartender at one of the Muldoon bars. But I don't know. I don't know specifics, unfortunately.
No, okay. And the other one? Any ideas at all?
Might have been a bootlegger, yeah. I'm not sure. His name might have been on a report here or there, but I don't know much about him.
I know this is a lot to ask, ma'am. Could you ask about those two names for me?
She looks down at herself. Not quite now.
Obviously. But I'm starting to think someone's trying to start a gang war.
In that case, I will do my best in the morning.
If you could ask your companion to do what he can as well, that would be...
You see a thumb come out of the side.
Appreciate it. Debbie? Ma'am, I apologize for taking up your time. My card is there. Feel free to pick it up later. I'll let myself out.
You hear it as you leave. You're not sure who's slapping what or what's slapping who, but someone's getting a slap.
It's just as long as I don't hit Oh yeah, that's it.
Maybe.
Harder.
Oh yes, please. This has turned very naughty without Roach here for some fucking reason. I don't know why. This whole stream has been a bit saucy. This whole stream.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh me. Oh my. So, on your trip home, you receive what I can only describe as a barrage of people attempting to contact you. You see, the second you walk onto the main street, there's people who put their hands up and they're like, Mr. Bullet, Mr. Bullet. You know, they're trying to get your attention. You don't recognize these people. These are just people on the street.
Walk up to the closest one.
I've heard there's a phone call for you. Just over there, and he points at like a corner like telephone payphone, and someone is standing there just holding it, like looking around trying to find you.
All right, thank you very much. Wander across.
Once you get there, the phone gets handed to you.
This is Jake Bullet.
Oh, this is Everard. Doc, fuck, they got him.
Everard? Where's Benoît?
They got Benoît. I managed to get away, but they got Benoît.
Where are you?
You hear a cough, and it's a wet one, like he's coughing up blood or bodily fluid. And he goes, I think I'm on 7th and Twine. I don't know. I can't see too well. I managed to stumble to a payphone. God, fuck.
All right, I'm on my way. Who took him?
I don't know. I don't know. And at that point, you hear the phone drop out of his hand, and a body hit the floor.
I turn and just basically go, someone get me a taxi. Fade to black.
Yep. And that is all the time we have for this stream, because we have to end early, because Roach is not here, and we need everybody around for next stream. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for showing up for the stream. I'd like to thank Utari Onzo for showing up. I'd like to thank him for spending time with us today, and for, of course, sharing all the beautiful models behind him there. You can see all of them on the shelves. I'd like to give a big shout out to Rival and Red Moogle of RivalzoneGaming. The two of them are always live every weekend.
Red Zone Gaming?
Red Zone Gaming. Red's stealing the channel. It's hers now. She got it. She got it in the divorce.
No.
There's a prenup sign there. She get everything else. She can't get the YouTube channel.
Not taking it.
Fair enough. All right, yeah. Rival and Red from Red Zone Gaming. I said it again. From Rival Zone Gaming. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Twitch.
Such a disappointment.
I know. I'm aware. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Twitch. Make sure to give them a follow. Make sure to give them a like if you can. I'm just gonna post something in the. Let's see. Shout out Rival Zone Gaming. There we go. So make sure you give them a follow. If you don't, I will be slightly disappointed in you. Once you do that, do yourself a favor and tune into any of the streams on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I believe. Is that right? Yes, that's our usual schedule, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Check out the YouTube stuff as well. As for me, you can find me at the Long Play Gamer on YouTube. You can find me on SurelyOnlyMikey on Twitch. You can find me on the socials. You can find everyone here on their socials as well. So do everyone a favor, check everybody out, and that'll be it for our stream today. It's been great having you guys here. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.